Hello everyone, hope you're having an excellent day today. I'm doing pretty good. Welcome to another episode of Mark's Mock Review. We've got a dozen great mocks to check out. Let's dive in. The first build we're going to feature today is from David. Let's read the email. Hi Mark, thanks for reviewing my previous two mocks. This one is a bit sillier and part of a much larger mock still in progress, but I think the community will get a kick out of it. While browsing for Lego cats on Bricklink, I came across this decorated tile of a cat in a party hat and couldn't stop laughing at the thought of a cult of cats worshipping in an underground cathedral, so I built it. I have included some photos of the inspiring tile, how the cat cathedral fits in the larger mock, and the actual cathedral itself. Still on the to-do list is to put dark blay ingots all over the floor for a stone effect. Well, thank you for sending this build in, David, and what a crazy concept for a build, but sometimes it's the most random, silly things that make a really fun mock like this. You've got a couple pictures showing the cathedral that you're working on itself. It's got a bunch of different rooms, doors, corridors, all that good stuff. But David has gone to significant detail on the cat cult shrine at the very bottom of the cathedral itself. You've got candles all over the place. You've got seating for all the different cats that David has collected for his cathedral. You've got these giant, looks like paws with claws, like arching over the ceiling. And of course, you've got the image that inspired the entire thing in the very center. It's just a hilarious visual image to see all the cats attending some sort of dark cultish mass here. And we've even got the little Nexonite shield with the cat on there. I'm not even sure where that tile is from, but it actually works perfect in this setting. Thank you so much for sharing your zany build with us, David. This is a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the whole cathedral too. This is just a tiny room of this giant build David is working on. I guess that technically counts as a castle build too. This might be setting the tone for the rest of the video. The next mock is from a regular participant here on the series. Let's read the email. Hi Mark, Henry here. This is one of the oldest mocks on my table, couple years old. Europe never got the Forestman's Crossing or Dark Forest sets, so I made my own Light Forest and Forestman's River Crossing Fortress. This mock has some of my favorite castle figures too. Well, thanks again for participating, Henry. Appreciate you being such a regular fan of the channel. I am also a big fan of Foresters, and it's fun to see what you've created in this theme. First photo shows a rooftop of the fortress. You've got the Foresters having a drink, and they've also looks like they've got a yellow parrot or like maybe a golden falcon or something there. Looks great. You've got a couple peasants with a little carrot farm down below. I love agriculture and mocks. I think I talked about that last week. And great to see all the plants and the scenery behind it too. This is a kind of an expansive scene. There's a shot of the fortress itself. You've got the stone masonry printed elements. I believe those are from Harry Potter. There's also some classic castle printed pieces on the left of the fortress. I see a little ghost peeking through the window, and a wolfpack warrior seems to be prowling around the outside. Maybe he's a friend of the Foresters, maybe he's scouting it out for a possible attack. There's the entrance leading up to the fortress. I love how Henry has gone to great detail with the paths leading to and from each location in his classic Lego scene. And you've got the rope bridge spanning the river here. It's definitely good to see that kind of classic Forester piece. It's actually Pirates, I think, is where it first came from, but they use it in Foresters too, and it looks really good. And I never would have expected to see the Islander river print pieces used in this same context, but I think it works great, honestly. The colors make sense. It looks like grass and plants around the edges of the river. A very novel use of another pirate piece. Great stuff as always, Henry. Looking forward to that overview one of these days. We can see everything in one picture. Moving right along, we've got another regular here on the series. This is from Darkside Brickzerkers. Let's read the email. Hope you are doing well, man. I've got another build for your mock review series based on God of War 4 and 5 Ragnarok. It's depicting Thors' arrival to Kratos' home at the beginning of the game. My main focus was the cabin design, and I hope to revisit this build soon and redo the snow with a snot technique instead. Hope you enjoy, and may the gods be with you, Erickson. I'm always a big fan of Darkside Brickzerkers mocks, particularly because of the themes that they're picking to build, because you've seen Helldivers, you've seen superheroes, really fun stuff. God of War is something you don't see a ton of Lego mocks for, but I think there's a ton of mock potential here, and they've done a great job capturing one of the beginning scenes of the kind of new wave of the God of War games. The thing that really stands out to me in this first picture is the trees. You've got that really nice kind of draped pine tree technique, but you've got the snow-colored pieces, the white leaf pieces at the top. making it look very cold and lots of layers of that snow, which is exactly how it looked in the video game. The cabin itself is also really well built and looks just like that sort of ramshackle but very sturdy looking building. I also like the figures that Darkside Berserkers has assembled. You've got Kratos, Atreus, and what is supposed to be Thor here. I'm pretty sure that's Thor based on the cape and such. A nice white irregular landscape on the bottom, but I think that they were planning on building a newer landscape there possibly. Snot would work pretty well here, I think, because you get a slightly smoother edge and surface to work with. But I think it's perfectly suitable as it is, though. You got a lot of nice slopes being used there to create the right shape for the terrain. Great stuff as always. Be sure to check out Darkside Berserkers on Instagram and YouTube. Links will be in the description for all those. Moving right along, we're taking a little break from our typical medieval and fantasy style builds to look at some Star Wars. Let's read the email. Instagram, bobo.bricks. Hey Mark, here is my newest build. You can read something about it on my Instagram if you want. Feedback is always welcome here, especially if it's something I can use to improve future builds / myself as a builder, or even the presentation. Well, thank you for sending this in, Bobo Bricks. I'm a big fan of Bobo Bricks. I've been following them on Instagram for a while. Do check them out there. And I'm also a really big fan of this Star Wars inspired build. I've talked about this a little bit before, I believe, but when you're making a Star Wars building, you're having to capture a very specific aesthetic and textural detail. That's something that Bobo Bricks has definitely done here. When you look at this picture, you got tons of different angles, different elements being used, very subtle textures. You've got vents, metal panels, fans, kind of arched doorways. It's almost like greebling, but not. It's very smooth at the same time. Yeah, there's quite a bit of complexity happening all over the place. You got different types of wedges, snot, tiles, all sorts of stuff. You've got a few details around the scene as well, a couple minifigures, some stormtroopers, some barrels. I really like that red barrel technique there, that nice ribbed texture. A few plants here and there as well. I could have stood for a few more plants, Bobo Bricks. I like to just cover things in plants, but that's a personal preference of mine. Your mock and your presentation are really good though. There's not too much I would critique. Maybe just try and find a way to splash a few more bits of color here and there. I love the red barrels, for example, maybe just a little bit more. But other than that, looks great. We've got yet another awesome mock to talk about. Let's read the email here. Hello Mark, hope you're doing well. This one was kind of practice for what I'm doing next. This one is Penguin's secret tunnel entrance. Not a lot to it. Built the rubber duck small enough so that it would look like it could fit. Take care, see you on the sorting stream. Well, thank you for sending this in, Ryan. Appreciate you being such an active participant on the streams as well. And on the last build, I was saying I could have stood to see a few more plants. This one, Ryan has gone out of his way to put lots of plants on the terrain, which I really like. You've also got some of the new gargoyle pieces up there by that stairway. I need to acquire some of those. They look really good. While I'm vaguely familiar with most DC characters and most Batman characters, the Penguin is one that I really don't know that much about. So eventually I need to learn more about him because I'm guessing this is where he goes down into the sewers of Gotham in his lair perhaps. And you've got the giant, and it almost looks like an inflatable duck vehicle there. I like the studded surface of the water in the scene too. I think that's a good texture for this particular environment. Very nice stuff, Ryan. Thank you for sending it in. We've got another mock here, this time from James Miggy, another very active participant on the live streams. It's good to see all those viewers sending in some mocks for me to check out. Hello, Mark. A couple streams ago, I mentioned a Space Police spaceship mock that I had made, and I finally managed to give my photos of it some themed backgrounds. To cut to the chase, this is my submission for the next mock review. Sincerely, James. Well, thank you for sending this in, James. I appreciate you participating on all levels of the channel. I also appreciate the extra effort put into the presentation with these space-themed backgrounds for your ship. That really nicely sets the context for this creation. Based on the color scheme, I would kind of think that this is leaning more towards the original Space Police livery and color scheme, but there's clearly a lot of more modern pieces here too, so I like that blend. I like the thrusters on the back. I like the kind of, I think those are like landing gear, landing feet for the craft when it has to sit on the surface of a planet. This seems to be a one-person vehicle, but I would love to see a little prisoner cargo container somewhere, either maybe you could tow it along behind it. But great stuff, James. Love to see more Space Police. And here I thought this video was going to be all castle once again. We've still got plenty of superheroes and sci-fi breaking up the mix. Let's look at the next build. Hey Mark, big fan of your builds, huge fan of Halo. The Forerunner detail in your 12-hour build was unreal. I'm currently attempting to build a scaled-up versions of the Covenant/Banished baddies. Here is my version of the Elite, Mine are dual-wielding plasma rifles and rocking an energy sword. Now that I have the framework for the elite, I plan on tackling all the ranks in future. And yes, the eyes, I know, heresy. Hope you dig it. Instagram @PFBuilds. Signed, Paul. Well, Paul, thank you so much for sending in this Halo-inspired creation. I'm so glad you enjoyed my Halo build a while back too. That was a fun one. When working on that creation, I briefly considered building some of these alien Covenant forces, these elites, for Master Chief to fight. I realized at that scale it'd be super difficult and super time-consuming to build because it is a rather complex creature. You've done a fantastic job scaling it up a little bit. This is almost the size of like a early stage Bionicle. I think it's perfect for this kind of sculpt. The details around the face are particularly compelling, as well as that energy sword. I love the way you've crafted that. The plasma pistols also look very game accurate at this scale. Fantastic work. I know you might be a little concerned about your, I think, either stickered or painted or printed eyes, but I think that's perfect for this size of MOC. It gives just a little touch of realism right there. Clearly you're going to great lengths to use normal Lego pieces for all the rest of the MOC, so I can personally forgive a tiny bit of customization there, especially when it's, really pivotal for this creation. I was tragically not following Paul before this video, but I am now, and there's other great MOCs to check out there, so check out that link in the description if you want to see more awesome Halo-themed creations from Paul. Moving right along, we're back to my favorite theme, Castle. Let's read the email. Hi Mark, I'm a longtime viewer of your channel and I love your 12 and 24-hour builds. My name is Thomas, alias is Dr. Bricks with a Z on YouTube. The main focus of my channel is Lego Castle. I'd love it if you could review my castle MOC. My YouTube channel is Dr_Bricks, where I posted an overview of this MOC. Thanks in advance, Thomas. Well, thank you for checking out my videos, Thomas. I really appreciate it. And double thank you for sending this castle MOC my way. This is really fun to see. We've got a sizable Lion Knight castle here with lots of classic castle pieces being used throughout. I think even the figures are using the original dark gray helmets and accessories and flags and all that, so it looks great to see those old pieces sprung to life once again. I really like the gateway. First of all, it's big, very impressive, but it's also set on a nice angle at the corner of the castle. The corners could be seen as a weak point for many castles, and they've just removed that out of the equation by putting a giant gateway there. I like it. Ooh, and you've even got a raised base plate on the back. It's always fun to see those snuck into castle scenes and making it make sense. It's a little bit of an awkward piece to use, but I like the way you've integrated it here. And we've got a nice shot of the interior courtyard. Again, I love it when castle builders, landscape builders, all sorts of builders put a nice pathway in their build. You got that connecting all the doorways in the center there. Looks like there's like a church or building on the left here. Yeah, tons of classic figures, a couple modern ones mixed in there too. A great castle MOC, Thomas. I will have to check out your YouTube channel and watch this overview at some point. For those who are interested, it's in the description as well. We've got another Star Wars build to feature this time. Let's read the email. Hey Mark, thank you so much for reviewing my Battle of Endor bunker MOC in episode 1 of your MOC review series. I've enjoyed watching each episode and seeing what the community has to offer. I have even improved my original MOC I sent in, inspired by details from other builders. I've included those before and after pictures in this email as well, although I know you only share one MOC per person per episode. Here I have the invasion of Jedha City from Rogue One. Thank you for starting this series, and I look forward to watching all the episodes. William. Well, thank you so much for watching all the MOC review videos, and I really appreciate you participating as early as the first episode and following it up with this email. The before and after pictures are really fun to see. I'm glad that you're trying new techniques and sprucing things up after seeing what other people have to create. That's really the point of the LEGO community, and videos like this is to inspire each other to try new things and experiment with new techniques. Speaking of new things, we've got a new MOC to feature from William. We've got the Jedha City kind of ambush scene here. You've got the buildings using some snot techniques on the right. Lots of greebling, looks good for Star Wars there. You've got the tank in the center and a couple figures running around the scene, some flames here and there. Maybe they've already taken some shots there. The one thing I'm missing from this scene is perhaps a Jyn Erso or Cassian figure. I don't know how expensive the Rogue One era figures are these days. Maybe they're hard to track down, but a very nice scene, William. Looks like a great place to have a minifigure battle in. Moving on, we've got a D&D themed build to check out. Let's read the email here. Hi Mark, I recently discovered your channel and love what you're doing. Since you do LEGO D&D stuff, I wanted to share what was to be my submission to the D&D LEGO Ideas contest back in 2022. Sadly, not many people got to see it since it was rejected 3 times due to not meeting the vague photo quality criteria. If you have any specific suggestions for improvements, that'd be welcome. I know the walls are too plain. I was kind of in a rush to finish. I honestly couldn't tell you at this point how I got the great green devil face together. I'm too afraid to take it apart again to find out for myself. I did have a lot of fun while I was building this, imagining ways I might go about mechanically recreating all the insidious traps from the Tomb of Horrors module in LEGO. I even workshopped a self-concealing ejection platform meant to stimulate the teleportation trap on the other side of the purple smoke. I don't have any specific LEGO themed socials worth linking to, but I do post stuff on Reddit occasionally under the name of Standard Time 3865. I would appreciate if you could give a shout out to our LEGO Castle and our LEGO D&D subs, though, since they're great communities and deserve more awareness. Well, Standard Time, thank you so much for sending this email, and thank you for bringing to my attention the LEGO Castle and LEGO D&D subreddits. I will be joining those to keep in touch with some of the things that are being posted there. 2 themes that are very near and dear to my heart, of course. Always cool to see more LEGO and D&D, and I really like some of the things that are happening in your build. There are 3 main elements that are really catching my eye besides the minifigures. Of course, that giant sculpted, like, devil face on the wall as part of the Tomb of Horrors. I'm not super familiar with that module of D&D, but the build itself looks really elaborate, detailed, scary looking, ancient is probably the right word. So many great pieces being used there. That sometimes happens when you're building a MOC, especially a more complex one, is down the road, you might not remember exactly the configuration of pieces you used to put it together. I've had that happen once or twice on some of my more bigger complex builds, and yeah, that happens. I love the portal on the left with the purple smoke. The way that you've kind of stacked those purple cloud pieces together, it looks exactly as you would expect in the D&D setting for a portal. The final thing that really stood out to me was, again, the path. This time, it's not necessarily because the entire floor has these tiles and studs to make it look textured, but it's the choice of color that really stands out here. You've got the red and the coral pieces standing out a lot in this kind of bluish light, this kind of eerie blue light for the scene. A great D&D party here trying to find out the mysteries of this particular room. They all look really good. If you had more time and more dark tan pieces available, you could just put a few more things on the wall, maybe some torches or a frame around the demon head so it looks a little bit more deliberately placed there. But overall, really love your build, Standard Time, great stuff. Moving right along, we've got just a few MOCs to check out here. Let's look at this one. Name, Carcharodon Brick. LEGO Focus social media account, Instagram, Carcharodon Brick. Hi Mark, this year was the 50th anniversary of my favorite movie, Jaws. And therefore, I wanted to make a small tribute through this MOC, representing the final scene of the movie. Warning, this MOC is a spoiler for those who have not seen the movie and want to see it. P.S. Your 12-hour build challenge is amazing and very entertaining. Regards. Well, Carcharodon Brick, I appreciate you participating in the series once again. They were so kind to send a picture of their Nazgul a few episodes back, worth checking out. Yeah, the anniversary for Jaws was not too long ago, and of course, I, like many others, decided to watch the movie then. And this MOC that you've created really nicely captures that extremely dramatic scene as the final survivor is facing down this giant shark that's coming towards him. The details like the mast, the inflatables attached to the shark, the fins, all those things look really good. The water technique looks nice as well. But what really stands out to me here is the silhouette of the shark put under the surface of the water on the left. That is really nice attention to detail. Great stuff. Thank you for sending this in, Carcharodon Brick, and do check out their Instagram for more MOCs like this. And as we often do with this series, we've saved the biggest MOC for last. Let's go ahead and read the email. Hey Mark, hope you're doing well. I've been enjoying your MOC review and time-limited build series on YouTube. I was hoping you would review the castle I built for LEGO Convention last October. I called it Azure Main as a reference to the blue water and lion banners. It's almost a year old and I'm planning to take it down soon. Would love to hear your thoughts and anything I can do to improve upon the next one. Thanks, Max Morvant. LEGO Instagram @tastymuffins_LEGO. Flickr, Tasty Muffins. Well, Max, it's great to hear from you once again and great to see you still building LEGO castles after all these years. For those who aren't aware, Max and me go way back. We both attended our first LEGO convention together in Brick Fair, Alabama in 2013. I think I have a photo of that very convention. You can see me and Steven rocking the bowl cuts even as late as 2013. Very fun times for sure. And Max, as usual, has built a giant, grandiose castle for us to look at, so let's dive into some of the details here. One of the things that first catches my eye is not the castle, but the environment the castle is placed in. You've got what looks like a shallow, sandy sea that is, this castle is kind of built right on top of, and has a nice bridge going to the land. That would make this castle very safe from most siege attackers. You really couldn't get around the side and back of the castle very easily at all unless you had boats or filled in all that water, which would be very difficult. I love the little courtyard area in the front of the castle. Once you cross the bridge, you've got a little bit of foliage, like some trees and flowers there. Some very nice windows, arches, and details happening on the inside areas of the castle too, especially that front tower. The front of it has banners, windows, places for minifigures to stand and look out over the castle. On the right side of the castle, you have a nice angled tower there. It's not easy to get those angles to fit nicely inside a castle this large, but Max has done a great job integrating it there. There's the back of the castle, some nice narrow round towers, very tall. How many stories is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish stories tall. A nice dock out the back so that they can have easy access to the ocean with their little rowboats. Yeah, always a big fan of Max's castles. This is one of his best, I think, just because of the way the composition and the design, the layout have worked out so well. As far as improvements, I'm really loving all the fundamentals on display here, Max. One thing I would encourage you to try in future would be to mix in some other colors. Gray is great for castles. That's really essentially what they mostly would have been. But maybe mix in some tan or some white, even if it's just some textural details, or maybe a specific tower is a different color. Things like that might spice it up a little bit. Amazing castle though, Max. Do check out Max's builds on his Instagram and Flickr, and really looking forward to the next castle you make, man. That's about it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you watching this video all the way through. If you have your own cool LEGO creation that you'd like featured on a video like this, feel free to shoot me an email at markoffalworth@gmail.com. I'd love to feature your build here. Don't forget to leave a like. It really helps the algorithm and helps this video reach more people. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we're always doing great LEGO-focused videos here on the channel. And thank you again to the members who support this channel directly. To become a member, there's a link in the description as well. I'm Mark, and this has been Mark's Mock Review, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.